Okay, dear friends, I'm back again with the continuation of this series, Symfonos 3, on the Vulnhub. I will put the link into the description section below so that you can download this virtual machine. Before we begin today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate your help and support. So now, without further ado, let's get started. To save time, I have already imported this virtual machine into the VMware workstation. So now we can go into the Kali Linux. As you can see, I have already identified the IP address of the virtual machine or target as 171. And then I did the nmap scanning. I did the scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and the comprehensive scan or full range port scan by the option of -p-. And the option ON, it stands for the output to the normal format file. Okay, and as you can see from the nmap scanning results, the three open ports, the first one is 21, which is running FTP service and also the actual version information. And from this result, we can know this FTP service doesn't allow anonymous login. And also you can search, use the search sprite to find whether this version have some vulnerabilities, but I can tell you it does not. And the second one is 22, similarly, which is running SSH service and also the actual version information. As usual, this version doesn't have any vulnerability, so we do not need to waste time to make furthermore enumeration on this service. Okay, and the next one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the actual version information. So I think at this point, what we are going to do next is to do some enumeration for the 80 port. So now we can use the GoBuster. And specify the word list, which is GoBuster directory medium. This is the first word list. Usually when I do the directory enumeration, and also I'd like to specify the option of the extension. Okay, let's hit enter. Yeah, there is the GoBuster has already identified one directory, which is get. We can access. I'd like to close all other tabs and visit this target. There is one page. Also, you can download this image to Kali Linux, and then we can do some image analysis to see whether there is hidden message inside this image. But I can tell you, nothing found. And then we can access the gate directory. Also, there is another different image. Similarly, you can download this image onto the Kali Linux for analysis, image analysis. You can use like a stack hide or stack seek to find out whether this image has hidden message inside it. But I can tell you, you will find nothing from there. Okay? And then I'd like to interrupt. So I'd like to check whether this directory has subdirectories. We just put the directory name and do it again. I can tell you, we can find out or enumerate out another subdirectory. Yeah, this one. And we can make a copy of this name and put or append to the path. Again, this is another image. Also, you can download to the Kali Linux for analysis, but you will not find any useful information. So I'd like to switch to another enumeration tool, Debuster tool, and to make you cannot always rely on single tool. As you can see, the Debuster tool has already enumerated out one directory, which is CGI bin, and we can access this directory, but not found. Yeah, maybe I make a copy. But forbidden. So it means that this directory does exist on the virtual machine, but we are forbidden to access this directory. It's okay, we can enumerate or look for some subdirectories or files under this directory. Okay, we can use the GoBuster again. CGI bin. So we'll wait for this to be finished to see whether we can find out other or interesting files under the directory of CGI bin. Okay, the GoBuster has already enumerated out the file on the Word. We can make a copy because I don't want to type in. Let's hit enter. It seems that on the background this file is running some shell script, and will give you some like current time and uptime and the load average. So maybe this always CGI bin has shellcode vulnerability and shellshock, sorry, excuse me. And we can, of course, we can manually verify this vulnerability. Also, we can use the metasploit for our purpose. So now I'd like to launch the metasploit console. And we can search the mod CGI, and we can use the first one, the first exploit module. We can paste in here, and we can show options. And we need to set the local host to our Kali Linux, and also we need to set the local port to 555. Of course, you can set the port whatever you like. And also we can set the remote host to 171. And also we need to set the target URI to our actual path, which is this one. And we can show options again to see whether we have already configured every required option or field. I think we have already done that. We can run. Metasploit session opened. So it means that the virtual machine does exist the shellshock vulnerability. And then we can go to the shell session and Python And then we can make some basic enumeration, the two users. And we can go to each of them to see whether we can find some interesting files or information, but nothing there. Also the same result. And also we can check the version of the kernel with this virtual machine, but I think this is not outdated kernel, which means that we cannot find some local privilege escalation vulnerability. And then we can use the sudo to see whether this user can run some command with sudo privilege but not found. And also we can find some file or commands which has SUID bit. But nothing special here. So what can we do? We can upload our Nimpiers shell script to see whether we can find out some useful information. Okay, and we can copy from my two sets Nimpiers, and we need to upload this shell script onto the target. This will be very easy. We just set up the web server by Python, and then we can wget from the Kali Linux. As you can see, we have already uploaded the Nimpier shell script onto the target, and then we need to change mode. And then we can run this shell script. Yeah, there are a lot of outputs from the Nimpier shell script. During the stage of the local privilege escalation, Nimpier shell script is very powerful too. We have already used it very often. So we wait for this to be completed. Okay, it's done. And then we can scrub up. Up. As you can see, the TCP dump has capabilities. As you know, that usually the TCP dump requires root privilege to run it. But because of this misconfiguration, it means that we can run this command with the current user. So we can use this TCP dump to capture packets for the loop pack interface. You know, there are just two interfaces on the target, and this one is not. We don't need to capture the packets for this interface, because this interface just has some traffic between the virtual machine and the Kali Linux, which is useless for this context. And then we can use the TCP dump, and we need to specify the loop, the interface as loop, and we can write to this file, and we can specify count. Maybe we can just put to 500 is okay, or 1000. Let's hit enter. So we wait for this to be completed, and then I will come back. Okay, we go to the temp directory and we can download this file to the Kali Linux. And then we can open up a new tab. We can use the shellshock. We can follow. As you can see here, there is username and password. Although this username and password are used by the FTP service, but we can try this password for the system. Okay, we can make a copy and paste in here. Now we can go back to our terminal. And we can switch to the headers, and we can paste in here. And as we go to the op directory, and there is status check txt, and we can cat the FTP client py. So it is, as we take a look at this code, this Python code, this code will import FTP lib module, and then we will generate the FTP object and login locally to the local host, and use the username and password, and try to change the directory and upload. And upload the file name is this one, and upload and write to the status check txt. So it means that there's some cron job running on the background, and we can, and also from the privilege setting, this script is running by the root user. And now we can check whether we can manipulate this module. We can locate FTP lib, and the type is a file. And we can check these privilege settings. So it means that we can check the ID. As you know, the headers belong to the gods group, and for the gods group member, we can modify this Python script. So I think now we can echo import OS module, append to this Python script. Okay, and then we can echo run OS system bin bash. Oh, not. We should use the double quotes. Append to this file. Okay, and we can set up the listener. And we wait for the reverse collection from the virtual machine, and then we can get the root shell. Okay, so we wait for because there's cron job running on the background, and this cron job we will run this Python script, and because we manipulate the module ftplib module, we have rights to make changes into this file. Then we can append the reverse command into this file, and then we can get spawn another shell, and this shell is running by root user. So wait for this to be connected. Possibly we need to wait for about 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, we got or spawn another new shell, and we can check the ID. This time we are root user. We can go to the root directory, and we can cat the root flag here. So no problem. So that's all I'd like to go through this virtual machine. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.